Chapter 61. It was soft and a little elastic. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. But how could Jiang Nan care about this? If she didn't take it off. Even if he could teleport, he couldn't escape with Li Mayan around. Li Mayan shook her head crazily. She kept retreating. But there was a wall behind her, so she could not retreat. The situation was extremely dangerous. If he delayed any longer, the big black bear would attack. Jiang Nan rushed up like a tiger pouncing on its prey and pressed Li Mayan to the ground. He reached out to pull off her jeans. Li Mayan kept pushing Jiang Nan. Don't be like this. Besides, the time is so short. You won't be able to finish. There will be plenty of time in the future. Jiang Nan. WTF. What the hell was this woman talking about? Weren't you acting a little too much? But how could Li Mayan be more stubborn than Jiang Nan? At this moment, Jiang Nan had already touched her jeans. So Li Mayan had already given up struggling. Her beautiful face was as red as a ripe tomato as she looked at Jiang Nan. And he was pretty handsome. Then let it be like this. I won't lose out. Since I can't stop it, why should I struggle? I can only enjoy it to my heart's content. What kind of broken button is this? Why can't I undo it? Li Mayan, be gentler. Jiang Nan listened to Li Mayan's soft moan and shivered. Damn it. King button. Jiang Nan pulled hard. There was a rip sound. Li Mayan felt a chill in her lower body. Jiang Nan froze. The cave was dead silent. He saw that Li Mayan was wearing black underwear. But normally, Jiang Nan wouldn't be like this. 18 years of ups and downs, what kind of big scene had he not seen before? But this article actually has a T-dot shape. Just a few ropes and a piece of cloth. Jiang Nan, who really did not know what to say, blurted out, "You. Why are you wearing this?" Li Mayan screamed, "Ah! Don't look." She was so embarrassed that she covered her face. The reason why she kept resisting was that she didn't want Jiang Nan to see her underwear. She had especially changed this when she took a shower that night. She usually didn't wear like this. But because she was in spirit ruin, it was convenient to wear this kind of thing, so she changed to it. Even if she was beaten to death, she did not expect such a situation to happen. Jiang Nan was stunned. He really did not expect that there would be such a scene. All right. This was too good. It's because of you. You insisted on taking off my jeans. This time. Li Mayan was wailing loudly. Jiang Nan looked embarrassed. I took off your jeans for your own good. Li Mayan. What kind of explanation was this? Only a kid would believe it. From Li Mayan's resentment points plus 1,000. Jiang Nan helplessly rolled up the jeans he had taken off onto a stone. He then ruthlessly threw it outside the cave. In the end, the earth bear directly gave up on the two of them and rushed towards the broken pants. He grabbed it and stuffed it into his mouth. Li Mayan was stunned. What was going on? That bear smelled the pink mucus on your jeans, which is why it kept chasing us. If I don't take off your jeans, both of us will be finished. Li Mayan's face turned red in an instant. She said in embarrassment, why didn't you say so earlier? I thought you were going to. To me. What do I want to do to you? Jiang Nan asked. How could Li Mayan say it? Just now, she was already half-pushed. She was already prepared to enjoy it. Who would have thought that Jiang Nan would pull off her pants for this reason? She was really embarrassed in her heart. You are not human. You are a beast. Woo. From Li Mayan's resentment points plus 1000. Jiang Nan, dot. F asterisk CK. How am I not human? Why am I a beast? I've saved your life, how did I become a beast? Ha! Women. At this moment, the big black bear swallowed the torn pants with a face full of satisfaction. They were originally safe and sound, but in the end, the bear heard the cries in the cave. Its huge eyes stared at the two people again. Jiang Nan felt goosebumps all over his body and hurriedly said, "Quick! Don't cry. Hold it back." Li Mayan ignored him and cried even louder. Jiang Nan felt a headache coming on. "Stop crying. Do you want to die?" Li Mayan wiped her tears. "I don't care. Just die. You have seen everything. Why do you care if I cry?" Jiang Nan, dot. What the hell did I just see? Your ropes and small pieces blocked it all, okay. Don't cry. Li Mayan, I'm going to cry. Just kill me. Jiang Nan was furious. What the hell? Are you a kid? Then I will punish you, a disobedient kid. As he spoke, he ignored Li Mayan's struggles. He held Li Mayan horizontally in his arms. He turned her over. He then slapped her butt. Snapped. A crisp sound echoed in the cave. Li Mayan's mind went blank. She was stunned. Jiang Nan actually spanked her. Just like a disobedient child. From Li Mayan's resentment value plus 1000. Li Mayan went crazy. Ah! What are you doing? You actually. Jiang Nan said fiercely, are you still crying? Li Mayan glared, I'll cry. Leave me alone. Snapped. Another slap left a clear red handprint on it. Ah! You still want to hit me? I'll fight it out with you. Li Mayan felt a burning pain in her butt. Jiang Nan curled his lips. Fight. What are you going to fight with me with? Let you cry. Let you be disobedient. Let's not talk about anything else. Just this feeling. It was soft and a little elastic. He was getting addicted to hitting it. Snapped. From Li Mayan's resentment points plus 999. Snapped. From Li Mayan's resentment points plus 888. Snapped. From Li Mayan's resentment points plus 777. Jiang Nan was puzzled. That's not right. Shouldn't it be more and more resentment points? Why was it getting less and less? Li Mayan turned around and said angrily, if you have the ability, then go ahead hit me. Ah! What a coincidence. This young master has great hitting ability. Snapped. From Li Mayan's resentment points plus 666. Snapped. .555. Plus 111. After a while, the resentment point actually did not refresh anymore. Jiang Nan's palm stopped in the air. And Li Mayan no longer struggled, not even crying, she was just quietly lying on Jiang Nan's knee. She seemed to have felt the pause. She turned around and looked at Jiang Nan in confusion. There was even a hint of desire in her eyes. You. Why aren't you hitting me anymore? Hey, Li Mayan raised her small butt. Hey you. If you don't hit me, I'll cry. Jiang Nan's eyes gradually became frightened. Damn. Girl. Don't tell me you have awakened some strange attribute. Did you get addicted to spanking? Chapter 62. This woman is violent. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Nan shuddered. He scratched his head. F***ck. How did things turn out like this? I didn't do it on purpose. You were the one who asked me to hit you. You even said that if I have the ability, I can continue to spank. I am just following orders. It was the first time Jiang Nan had heard such a strange request. Yes, it wasn't because of the feeling when he spanks her. Absolutely not. Seeing Li Mayan's expectant small eyes and flushing face, Jiang Nan suddenly felt a little guilty. He stood up and took out a pair of pants from his alternate dimension to cover Li Mayan's body. His face was full of melancholy. Put it on. It would be more perfect if he had a cigarette at this time. Li Mayan put on his pants with a look of grievance and did not make any more noise. Her buttocks were numb from spanking, and she struggled at first. Later, for some reason, it was also a little comfortable. Jiang Nan stopped spanking her and felt a little disappointed. What was wrong with her? Strange. Humph. Scumbag. Jiang Nan, F***ck me. Fine. I'm scum. I'll admit it. After all, not everyone had the chance to beat Onsai waist drum in this life. It was great. It was not a loss. The two of them did not speak. The atmosphere in the cave was somewhat awkward. When the earth bear heard no more sound coming out, it gave up. Jiang Nan also breathed a sigh of relief. If he were chased all the time, teleportation would not be enough. Just as the earth bear was about to go back, the sound of wind suddenly came from the horizon, and a tall black shadow fell from the sky. It smashed into the ground, sending dirt and stone flying. Jiang Nan and Li Mayan widened their eyes. The person was tall, about 1.9 meters tall. She was wearing a black military uniform and a beret. Her eyes flashed with a cold light. If not for Bobcat, who else could it be? The earth bear was completely enraged by Bobcat, who had suddenly appeared out of nowhere. He raised his bare paw and smashed it at Bobcat. Bobcat didn't even bother to dodge as she charged forward with a single punch. Boom! With a loud sound, smoke and dust rose into the air. Half of her body was nailed into the ground. However, she managed to resist it, and her hands were covered in a hard black iron color. Her expression did not change as she held on to the earth bear's paws with both hands. She let out a breath and did a shoulder throw. The earth bear that was more than 20 meters in size fell to the ground. A cloud of dust rose up. It made Jiang Nan's scalp tingle. Oh my God! That was this Bobcat a human? What level of power was this? Throwing such a big earth bear without effort. The code name Bobcat was too soft. You should be called the human-shaped Tyrannosaurus. The earth bear let out a wild roar and crawled up. Black light burst out from its body, and it actually condensed into a thick shield. Spirit skill. Bear King Shield. It covers his whole body to block Bobcat's next attack. But Bobcat didn't care. Her two arms had completely turned into black color, glowing with a metallic luster. She took a step forward and punched out. Her arms actually glowed with a blazing red light. It instantly broke through the speed of sound and unleashed a terrifying explosion. A punch. The thick Bear King shield shattered. The huge earth bear was sent flying. It slammed into the cliff, unable to get up even after struggling for a while. Bobcat jumped up and landed on its huge bare face. The fist fell like rain, and the loud bang was like a tank bombardment. It sounded for a full 30 seconds. The earth bear was completely cold dead. Jiang Nan swallowed his saliva. Look! Was this a human can do? The gold-ranked earth bear had been hammered to death by Bobcat with 2 fists. Wasn't this woman a little too violent? Jiang Nan was still thinking of turning her into an obedient little kitten. That would be a little difficult. Wouldn't she just slap him to death? Thinking about how he had been flirting with her before, he couldn't help but feel scared. Bobcat straightened up, took a deep breath, and shouted, "Jiang Nan. Ha! Did she really come to find him?" Jiang Nan stood at the cave entrance and waved his hand, Sister Bobcat. Here. Li Mayan was so scared that she didn't dare to speak. This woman in military uniform had hammered the earth bear to death with a pair of fists. Wouldn't she be even more terrifying? Did Jiang Nan just call her so intimately? Were the two of them so familiar with each other? When she thought about the event in the school, Bobcat personally came to take Jiang Nan away. In Li Mayan's eyes, Jiang Nan's identity became more mysterious. Even though they were classmates for 3 years. She really did not understand Jiang Nan well. When everyone was mocking him and looking down on him. Little did she know that Jiang Nan had already reached a height that her classmates could not even look up to. When she recalled the small conflict between her and Jiang Nan, she felt that she was a little childish. Her heart also felt uncomfortable. Seeing that Jiang Nan was unharmed, the coldness in Bobcat's eyes gradually melted away. Then she reprimanded, "What are you running around for? Are you a thief?" Jiang Nan chuckled and ran forward, "I knew that Sister Bobcat loves me. So I'm not worried. You have a sharp tongue but have a soft heart, at first glance. You." Looking at Bobcat's eyes that gradually turned cold. Jiang Nan immediately shut his mouth. "Let's stop talking, or I would be beaten up." When Jiang Nan arrived in front of the earth bear, he was excited. He went up and dug out its spiritual bead. How could Jiang Nan let go of a gold-rank spiritual bead who even had a spirit skill? Bobcat glanced at Li Mayan and Jiang Nan, not saying a word. She picked up Jiang Nan's trouser belt with one hand and picked up Li Mayan with the other. All of a sudden, Jiang Nan had a bad feeling. It reminded him of the experience of jumping off a building. Ah! Don't! Bang! Bobcat jumped, and her body sprang out. The strong wind that blew against his face made Jiang Nan's face deform. Because the speed was too fast, the scenery on both sides blurred for a while. He experienced the pleasure of riding a roller coaster. The cold wind was blowing towards the back of Jiang Nan's neck. Then he looked at Li Mayan. She was being appropriately carried, and yet he was being held like a little chick. They were both people. Why should she treat them differently? Even so, Li Mayan's face was pale with fright. They sped through the forest. After a while, Bobcat arrived at a station. Night Legion Army was arranging for the students to evacuate. The students only saw a tall woman carrying 2 people down. After leaving Li Mayan behind. Once again, she brought Jiang Nan with her and jumped, disappearing in a few moments. The night sky was still echoing Jiang Nan's scream. Li Mayan was stunned. Were they saved just like that? Where's Jiang Nan? Why did she take Jiang Nan away? The students were also stunned. What? What's going on? Was that person Nan Shen? A certain girl said, "You're so blind. Can't you recognize such a handsome Nan Shen?" Male classmate. What? Isn't Nan Shen retreating with us? He was taken away again. If you say that Nan Shen has nothing to do with Night Legion Army, I won't believe it even if you beat me to death. Let's not talk about anything else when we were at the safe zone just now. If not for Nan Shen, we would have been dead by now. Li Mayan. You're still alive. That's great. Ling Feng's face was full of surprise, but the looks of Li Xiang and Lu Chuanwu beside him were not good. Li Mayan forced a smile and looked coldly at Li Xiang and Lu Chuanwu, but the other two did not say a word and did not walk over. Care about it? No need to care about it after experiencing so much. Li Mayan had grown a lot. Ling Feng was puzzled. He didn't know what had happened. When he was running for his life just now, he was separated from the team and didn't know anything. Li Xiang and Lu Chuanwu did not say, nor did they expect Li Mayan to survive. Chapter 63. Are you going to say it or not? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Nan was still experiencing the free roller coaster on the other side. The oncoming wind blew up his face. Why don't you put me down? They had clearly escaped. Why did she take me away again? Bobcat said coldly, their target is you. If I don't take you away, the others will be in danger. Jiang Nan, F***ck. Then wouldn't I be even more in danger? Was she using me as bait? While Bobcat was a fish pole. 666, at this moment, Bobcat seemed to have sensed something unusual. However, she did not respond. The moment she landed on the ground, the originally solid ground instantly turned into sand, sinking half of her body into it. Bobcat forcefully threw Jiang Nan out. Jiang Nan, who was out of balance in the air, teleported and landed on a tree branch. Finally escaped from the demon claw. Constantine, who was on the sand dressed in camouflage, sneered. Jiang Nan was amused. Wasn't this that Russian uncle? We meet again. Humph. You brat is dead. I finally caught you. You'd better not run. Otherwise, I will let you experience what it means to be better off dead than alive. I'll deal with you after I deal with this woman. Jiang Nan shrugged. Instead of running away, he sat on a tree branch, watching with interest, and dangled his legs. Deal with Bobcat. I'm afraid you're thinking of farting. This Russian uncle's brain doesn't seem to be very useful. You run away when you see a gold, rank earth bear. Yet you still want to deal with Bobcat. This ruthless woman used a pair of fists to hammer a gold-rank spirit beast to death. She could be called a human-shaped tyrannosaur. What the F***ck are you going to do? Were you trying to scare her to death with your long string of names? Jiang Nan smiled brightly. Russian uncle. Please start your performance. Constantine. Was it really okay for you to be so arrogant? You don't play according to the routine every time. You are so talkative. From Constantine. Resentment points plus 666. Only to see Bobcat forcibly break free from the sand. Step by step, she walked towards Constantine. Constantine yelled and shook his hands. The endless yellow sand gathered towards Bobcat like a demonic snake. It completely wrapped around her body and fiercely tightened. Then it formed a 10 by 10 pyramid. Jiang Nan's eyes lit up. Damn it. Gara's desert layered imperial funeral seal. You're awesome. You watched Naruto too much, right? It's just that this action of yours a bit stupid. You're already 40 to 50 years old, but you don't know how to be ashamed. Constantine blushed. Shut the F***ck up. From Constantine's resentment point plus 999. But at this moment, his expression changed greatly. The pyramid that was completely made up of sand completely exploded. Bobcat was completely unharmed. However, her entire body had turned into a black iron metallic color. Like a statue made of iron, there was a different kind of beauty. Constantine grinned, you are something. Then accept my trick again. He stomped on the ground with one foot. Sharp stone spikes emerged and stabbed towards Bobcat. Ding! 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 The stone spikes pierced into Bobcat's body, cutting through her military uniform. But the skin under the military uniform was also black. Unexpectedly, sparks burst out, and all the stone spikes were broken. Jiang Nan was stunned. What kind of abnormal physical fitness was this? He wouldn't be able to catch up to it even if he drank with vigorous potion. Jiang Nan was curious about what kind of ability Bobcat had. Constantine panicked. Why can't he take her down? His face was red, and he raised his hand. Boundless soil and rocks rose from the ground and wrapped around Bobcat's body. They formed a stone ball with a diameter of 20 meters and floated in the air. Jiang Nan widened his eyes and clapped. Damn! Planetary devastation. Is it this 6? Did you really not watch Naruto? Almighty push and universal pull, do you also know this too? Come on. Show it to me. Constantine. What Naruto? What almighty push? Damn it. I am AF * King Earth ability user. From Constantine's resentment value plus 1000. Boom. The 20-meter stone ball was directly shattered. Bobcat rushed out like a sharp arrow. She stretched out her hand, and before Constantine could react, she pressed it against his face. Bang! Bobcat pressed on his face and fiercely smashed it on the ground. A sharp pain assaulted his head. Bobcat's hand grabbed Constantine's head as if she was grabbing a basketball. And dribbled it on the ground. Jiang Nan felt goosebumps all over his body. Sure enough. The retribution came too fast, like a tornado. Constantine was knocked out, and the spirit shackles were arranged. Only then did Jiang Nan come over. Bobcat gradually retracted her black iron color. A large piece of snow. White skin was exposed under the broken military uniform. The lines of the 8 obvious abdominal muscles were so beautiful that they were exploding. It was really white. It was as white as suet jade, so Jiang Nan couldn't help but reach out and press her belly. It was soft and elastic. How did it become the color turned black just now? The defense doesn't seem to be very high. Then, he pinched another piece of fleshy meat. It was still very soft. At this moment, Jiang Nan felt a chill run down his back. He raised his head and saw Bobcat's gaze that seemed to be able to kill. Jiang Nan quickly retracted his hand, his face full of embarrassment. I was just looking. I was just curious. He lifted half of his sleeve as he spoke, revealing his belly. I won't let you suffer any losses either. You can pinch me back. Bobcat. What kind of strange brain circuit was this? From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 666. Don't talk nonsense. Carry it. Jiang Nan heaved a sigh of relief. He had escaped the fate of being beaten like a sandbag. He swiftly carried Constantine and followed behind Bobcat in a single step. The two of them arrived at a cave. Bobcat took Constantine and walked in. She instructed, "Wait outside." Jiang Nan shuddered violently. He had already guessed the outcome of Constantine. He could not help but feel sad for him. Sure enough, there was a muffled bang from the cave, as well as Constantine's wailing. Hearing this, Jiang Nan felt goosebumps all over his body. Not long after, Bobcat, whose fists were covered in blood, came out. Jiang Nan smiled brightly. Hee, are you tired? I'll help you beat him for a while. You can take a rest first. As he spoke, he rushed into the cave in high spirits. What a joke. How could Jiang Nan let go of such a good opportunity to earn resentment points? Looking at the blood-covered and pale Constantine, he revealed a wicked smile. He went up and gave him a good beating. Are you going to say it or not? From Constantine's resentment points plus 1000. Are you going to say or not? Ah. Jiang Nan asked. From Jiang Nan, oh. Your mouth is quite tough. How dare you curse? Have you ever seen a fist as big as a clay pot? From. After beating him for half an hour, Jiang Nan was so tired that he gasped for breath. Constantine was beaten to the point that his eye rolled up. I'm just asking if you want to say it or not. Constantine shed 2 streams of tears. You keep asking me whether I want to say it or not. But what are you asking? Both of you just keep hitting me and never ask when you come. If you don't tell me what you are asking, what do you want me to say? He was so wronged and crying on the ground. Mother asterisk cur, I have never suffered this grievance in my life. I wanted to say it, but you didn't ask me what to say. Chapter 64. Diamond King. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Jiang Nan scratched his head. He was having a headache. Never ask. This was King embarrassing. He couldn't help but turn around and look at Bobcat, who was leaning against the cave entrance. Bobcat has a reddish complexion, but she quickly recovered. She said, I forgot to ask. Jiang Nan. Nanny. Was she just thinking of beating up Constantine? Or was she just venting? That was great. She couldn't help but cough slightly to cover up her embarrassment and said righteously, I don't ask. Because you should already know what we want to know, right? You have no eyesight at all. You deserve to be beaten. Constantine. Look at this. Look at what you're saying. I wanted to tell you, but you beat me back and forth. After beating him for half an hour. He did not find a chance to open his mouth. From Constantine's resentment points plus 1,000. He heard Bobcat say, how many people have come? Jiang Nan, tell me the truth. Looking at these two violent people, he was terrified. He had to tell them everything. Had it not been for Jiang Nan, Constantine would even tell them the family address of his accomplices and the name of his mistress. Jiang Nan, humph. Just one look, and I can tell that you have no backbone. Scum of mercenaries. Constantine was so angry that he spat out a mouthful of blood. No backbone. Scum. Ck. It was you who told me to explain. You're a whore, yet you still want to establish a chastity arch. Jiang Nan hurriedly dodged a mouthful of blood from Constantine. He pointed at him and complained to Bobcat, Sister Bobcat. He spits at me. Bobcat's face darkened. Luo Qianhong's resentment points plus 555. Seeing Bobcat ignore him, Jiang Nan curled his lips. However, he remembered what Constantine told them. This time, White Shark managed to sneak in quite a few people. They wanted to use this final exam to restrain Night Legion army using the students. They wanted to take this opportunity to attack Jiang Nan and then take him to run away. In the end, they didn't expect to attract a gold rank Earth Bear. Something outside of the plan. Most of the White Sharks had already been taken down by Night Legion army. The only thing that worried Jiang Nan was that Constantine was already a gold rank. He wasn't even the leader. At this moment, a bare-chested Russian man slowly walked towards the cave. His expression was calm. I knew that this group of trash would not be able to do anything to you. China's Night Legion army fights and guards. Its reputation is truly well deserved. At this moment, a rare trace of seriousness appeared on Bobcat's face. Jing'eng. This time, you will die in China's land. TL note. Jing'eng is just a name or codename given to him meaning Diamond, Bajra, King Kong, etc. I promise. Jing'eng narrowed his eyes and said, not only I will kill you. I will also take them away. Bobcat said without turning her head, protect yourself. If I die, you run. China needs a second space system. Jiang Nan's face stiffened, and then he said heartlessly, don't worry. If you die, I will definitely run. His heart was extremely solemn. This Jing'eng was so fierce. Even this human-shaped Tyrannosaurus was not confident. Bobcat nodded in satisfaction. Then, she twisted her neck and took a step forward. Her body was covered in a black iron color. Jing'eng laughed loudly. Under Jiang Nan's astonished gaze, his flesh and blood actually turned into diamond little by little. In the end, it turned into a human-shaped diamond. Under the moonlight, it was pretty dazzling. Jiang Nan. Damn. What kind of fucking extravagant ability was this? Can be diamondized. Godly tycoon. How many carats does it have for such a large tuft of diamonds? Wouldn't it be okay if he just cut a fingernail and sold it if he had no money? A living diamond king. This big idiot. With this ability, how can you still be a mercenary? You have no future at all. To be honest, Jiang Nan was envious. Jing'eng, You are telling me I have no future. So what if I'm a mercenary? Dreams. Do you know what a dream was? From Sergei Markov's resentment point plus 1000. There was nothing to say between the two of them. Their figure instantly collided with each other and exchanged fists. Bang! The air exploded visibly. Sparks even appeared at the point of their fists' collusion. In close combat, fists hit flesh. Jiang Nan clicked his tongue when he saw this. However, one could see that Jing'eng's body was already stained with blood upon closer inspection. And this blood was Bobcat's blood. The hardness of the diamond was 10 and could be said to be the hardest material in nature. TL note. Mohs hardness scale from 1.10 in which 10 was the hardest, even Bobcat's defense could not withstand it. However, her tremendous strength was abnormally fierce, and even the diamond cracked. Jiang Nan's eyes lit up. Looking at the diamond slag that Jing'eng had dropped, how could he endure it? He immediately teleported to the battlefield. He squatted on the ground and began to pick up the diamonds. This was all money. Looking at the diamond the size of a pigeon egg in his hand, his heart blossomed with joy. He lowered his head and began to pick up the diamonds. At the same time, a strange thought appeared in his mind. Jing'eng was a human, and then diamondized. The dregs that fell from his body. Wasn't that a scum? TL note. Scum is a synonym for dregs in garbage topic. Thinking of this, Jiang Nan suddenly looked up at King Kong. He coldly said, "Scum." Jing'eng, F***ck. What kind of player were you? Picking up the trash that I dropped. And yet calling me a scum. Don't you have any shame? Bobcat, The battle between the two became more and more intense. Bobcat used that red spirit technique, and his offensive became fiercer. As for Jing'eng, who knew what kind of spiritual skill he used, his body actually grew out a long diamond thorn. It cut a bloody wound on Bobcat's body. It made Jiang Nan feel uncomfortable. He wondered if he could go up and help Bobcat. However, other than teleporting and running away, he had no other means of attack that could break through Jing'eng's defense. He was getting anxious in his heart. Bobcat's body suddenly burst out with dazzling red light. With a loud explosion, the earth trembled 3 times. Jiang Nan hurriedly looked over. He saw 3 long diamond thorns stuck in Bobcat's body. One in her chest, one in her lower abdomen, and one in her thigh. Fresh blood flowed out. As for Jing'eng, he was lying on the ground. More than half of the thorn was broken. The ground was littered with countless diamond fragments. At this moment, his body was covered in cracks, like porcelain that was about to shatter. He didn't dare to move. Bobcat wanted to go up again, but her body fell down powerlessly. Jiang Nan was so scared that he hurriedly went to help. Looking at the thorn stuck in Bobcat's body, Jiang Nan was a little breathless. Blood was also gushing out of her mouth. Jiang Nan looked anxious. What do you do? What do you do? You can't die. F***ck. I have a first aid kit. Wait for me. I'll wrap you up. Bobcat shook her head and said in a hoarse voice, Jing'eng is not dead. Don't worry about me. Kill him. Quick. Jiang Nan was stunned. Jing'eng really did not die. He was staring at Jiang Nan with his big eyes. His body was covered in cracks, so he did not dare move. If he moved, he would shatter. If he shattered and would really die. Moreover, the cracks were slowly repairing. Bobcat was already crippled, and Jiang Nan was only black iron 10 stars, he was not worried at all. Even if I stood here and let you chop me, you would not be able to break my defense. Chapter 65. Vitality Ginseng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Nan was anxious. If this Diamond King were to recover, both of them would die. Without a second word, he deals with him. Jiang Nan did not believe that he would not be able to handle such a huge lump of diamond. If you want to give Jiang Nan 200 caddy of brick, he might not be able to carry it. Try it for 200 caddy of renminbi. He would be able to pick it up, he would even run with it. He could even jump. What's more with this 200 caddy of big diamonds? Jingyang saw the evil light in Jiang Nan's eyes and could not help but swallow his saliva. He had a bad premonition. No. It should be fine. Jiang Nan pulled out his triangular army thorn. He then stabbed it at Jingyang's neck. A burst of sparks burst out. The shock made Jiang Nan's arm numb, and even the blade broke. Damn it, it's quite hard. Jingyang said proudly, let's see what you're going to do. Jiang Nan was furious. F***ck. I can get anything else. But I can't get this money. His eyes spun. He picked up the military knife and pointed it at Jingyang's lips. Open your mouth. Jingyang clenched his teeth and did not speak. All right. Just you wait. Jiang Nan said. As he spoke, he picked up 2 stones and stuffed them into Jingyang's diamond nose. He then laughed coldly. If he didn't open his mouth, he would not be able to catch his breath if he was a person, right? From Sergei Markov's resentment points plus 1000. Blocking his nose. You're playing dirty with me. Damn it. Jingyang, who had been holding it in for more than 3 minutes, could not keep it in any longer and opened his mouth to gasp for breath. Jiang Nan took the opportunity to stuff detoxification small soybeans and Reiki leek into his mouth. Jingyang's eyes are wide open, but he can only swallow them to breathe. F***ck. What did you give me to eat? Jiang Nan laughed mischievously. What? You will know in a while. After a while, Jingyang reacted, and his reaction was not ordinary. His body twisted uneasily. The key was that he didn't dare to move. He was about to go crazy. Jiang Nan took this opportunity to stab triangular army thorn into the crack and frantically dig at the diamond. The effect was remarkable. Jingyang was angry. If this continued, he would be dismantled by this kid sooner or later. He could no longer suppress his anger and roared madly, I'll fight it out with you. Jingyang suddenly stood up and smashed his diamond fist at Jiang Nan. Jiang Nan reacted quickly and caught it. Just like that, the two of them exerted force like a tug of war, and diamond fragments continuously fell from Jingyang's body. Jiang Nan was so stifled that his face turned red. However, the tremendous force coming from his arms made it impossible for him to resist. The difference was too great. Then, he teleported behind Jingyang. He grabbed his head and pressed it down fiercely. Both of his arms were tightly clasped his neck, and then he suddenly raised it. It was a standard rear naked choke. Jingyang was so caught off guard that he couldn't breathe, and his fists crazily smashed onto Jiang Nan's back. A muffled sound like a drum rang out. Jiang Nan felt that he was hammered by the rammer again and again. His ribs must have been broken. A mouthful of blood rushed up to his throat and was swallowed back. At this moment, Jiang Nan's eyes were full of viciousness. F***ck. Let's see if I die first, or you die first. Bobcat said weakly, run. Ignore him, and don't worry about me. Don't put yourself in this place. Jiang Nan gritted his teeth, you want me to give up on such a large diamond? How is that possible? Bobcat was getting anxious. At this time, Jiang Nan was still joking. Didn't you promise me just now? If I die, you will run. We have an agreement. Jiang Nan spat out a mouthful of blood and smiled brightly. A man's mouth is a liar. Little meow meow, your cultivation is still too shallow. As he spoke, he spat out another mouthful of blood. Jiang Nan refused to let go. What a joke. Can he run away just like that? Was he still a man? In the end, the reason why Bobcat was like this was all because of him. There were some things that Jiang Nan didn't want to regret. The emotions in Bobcat's heart surged. She bit her lower lip, unable to say a single word. Jiang Nan loved to joke, he was glib. However, he would never fail at critical moments. In the end, he still didn't want to abandon her and run away. Bobcat knew that she hadn't misjudged him. She saw Jiang Nan staring at her with his eyes wide open and clenching his teeth. He even made up his mind. If I can't kill you today, your father will eat sh*t. Suddenly, Jiang Nan felt his heart beating wildly. His blood flowed faster, and his body temperature soared. What flowed through his blood vessels did not seem to be blood, but lava. The high temperature even evaporated the sweat in Jiang Nan's body and spread out through his pores. His skin was a strange dark red color. Green veins burst forth. Waves of surging power surged forth. Jiang Nan felt his ears and eyes become clear, his five senses and his physical attributes explosively increased in all aspects. Bobcat widened her eyes. Burning blood. The burning blood reagent worked. Bring it on. There was a "kacha" sound. Jiang Nan snapped off a large head made of diamond. Jingang's body fell to the ground powerlessly. Jiang Nan gasped for breath and looked at the big diamond head in his hand. Tisk, tsk, tsk. Such a big diamond. How much is it worth? Bobcat. She no longer knows where to start to complain. She didn't even have time to care so much. Jiang Nan hurriedly checked Bobcat's injuries, but when he looked at them, he couldn't help but fall silent. The blood on the ground had already gathered into a small pool. Bobcat's face was already frighteningly pale. Don't save me. We're in the wilderness, I won't be able to survive. Go. With your ability, you can leave this spirit ruin. Jiang Nan squatted on the ground. Nonsense. In the movie, people who are worse than you are still alive and kicking. What are you doing? Can't you be serious for a while? Bobcat smiled bitterly. Jiang Nan shook his head. He had finally endured to the end. How could he watch Bobcat die? Looking at his nearly 2 million points of resentment. He silently thought in his heart. System. Don't cheat this time. Give me something reliable. Get out of the way. I am going to start acting tough. Looking at the information that suddenly appeared in his mind, Jiang Nan was stunned. Damn. He was speechless. Then please start your performance. 10 consecutive draws begin. Thank you for your patronage. A consolation prize, Hulk Pants. Jiang Nan thought that the system would act tough. Wasn't it all just fucking thank you for your patronage? Looking at his dwindling resentment points, Jiang Nan's face turned darker than that of coal. 1910. Times consecutive draws. A total of 5 Golden Age beauty pill were produced, and the rest were all Hulk underpants. Jiang Nan was about to go crazy. In the end, there was finally a new product in the 20th time. Thank you for your patronage. Consolation prize, a vitality ginseng. Jiang Nan opened the item information and took a look. Vitality ginseng, function. Restore the health of the consumer. Cure all diseases. Replenish blood and qi. Jiang Nan was suspicious. It sounded very powerful and very reliable. However, the system always showed such serious information. But it was F asterisk king huge pit. Plus, this vitality ginseng identity of a consolation prize. Jiang Nan could not help but panic a little. But now that Bobcat was about to die, how could Jiang Nan have more time to think? He immediately took out the vitality ginseng. Jiang Nan was dumbfounded. He saw that the vitality ginseng was not even the size of a thumb. Wasn't it too small? It was dry and shriveled. It looked like it was seriously malnourished. F*ck. This could cure all diseases and also replenish qi and blood. Who the F*ck would believe it? Chapter 66. That's a real tonic. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But what kind of *t appearance was this? If you can fix up other. Can you fix yourself first? But there was no time for Jiang Nan to hesitate. At this time, he stuffed the vitality ginseng into Bobcat's mouth. Come. Eat it. This ginseng is a tonic. After you eat it, you will be fine. Bobcat looked at the dried and shriveled ginseng that was not round at all, like malnourished ginseng. Wasn't this a medical emergency? The ginseng was indeed a tonic, but she suffered a fatal injury. Let's not talk about whether normal ginseng was effective or not. But just this malnourished baby ginseng. Bobcat could not bear to eat it. From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 333. Stop messing around. Just let me calm down for a while. Bobcat was still thinking about recalling her life before she died. You should feel a little sad. Jiang Nan's disturbance was completely unlike the atmosphere before she died, alright. Jiang Nan, Aya. You're still being arrogant at this time. If you don't eat, I'll feed you with my mouth. The kind that sticks out their tongue. Bobcat glared fiercely at Jiang Nan. Seeing that this guy was really going to kiss her, she said angrily, shut up. I'll eat. It was fine if it was just lips. Do you still want to stick your tongue out? You wish. From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 888. Jiang Nan chuckled and stuffed the vitality ginseng into Bobcat's mouth. Then, he took out another one and hesitated for a moment. But he still opened his mouth and swallowed it. It was a bit sweet to say it or not. Then, he nervously observed Bobcat. What was the side effect of this vitality ginseng? Should he leave Bobcat here before she recovers? Then he would be hammered to death by her later. Bobcat felt that her body was warm, and her wound also felt itchy. She couldn't help but wonder. Could it be that this baby ginseng really had an amazing effect? Pull it out. Jiang Nan swallowed his saliva. He carefully grabbed the long diamond thorn inserted into Bobcat's body. His face was full of distress. I'm going to pull it out. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Jiang Nan. In the blink of an eye, 3 long diamonds thorn had been pulled out. Flesh and blood on the wounds were healing at speed visible to the naked eye. But then, 3 streams of blood gushed out from the wound. It was more than a meter high. The momentum was tremendous. At that time, Jiang Nan was covered in blood. She was simply a small human blood fountain. Jiang Nan was stunned and quickly reached out to cover it. One hand pressed on her chest, and the other pressed on her lower abdomen. Bobcat was shocked. Ah. Where are you putting your hand? From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 1000. Jiang Nan said righteously, I'm stopping the bleeding for you. F*ck. Sister Bobcat. You have so much blood. Bobcat. Holy shit, I really have a lot of blood. I have to spit out 3 to 4 liters of blood, right? She originally felt that she could survive for 1 or 2 minutes if she supported herself. But now, Bobcat felt that she was going to die in the next second. What the hell did Jiang Nan give her to eat? Jiang Nan was scared silly. Such a spray method, normal people would be speechless. It was like a little blood shower. In less than 30 seconds, the blood stopped spraying. All the wounds on Bobcat's body were perfectly healed. Her skin was snow-white, not even leaving a single scar. Bobcat and Jiang Nan looked at each other as if they had seen a ghost. Then, Bobcat said angrily, "Are you addicted to touching me? Take your hand away." Jiang Nan smiled embarrassedly and then took his hand away. Suddenly, his expression changed. "Damn! This is bad." 2 blood pillars shot out from under Jiang Nan's nose. It was like a water gun. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't block it. Bobcat looked at Jiang Nan, who was crazily bleeding from his nose, and couldn't help but laugh. But in the next moment, 2 streams of blood flowed out from her nose. Luo Tianhong. What the hell? From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 1000. Jiang Nan was going crazy. He finally understood the phrase, replenish blood and qi. Just what kind of replenishing method was this? This B*TCH was too good, wasn't it? He couldn't stop the blood from flowing. Calling it vitality ginseng was not correct. It should be called nosebleed ginseng. Wasn't this side effect too much? Both of them had nosebleeds. Bobcat looked at Jiang Nan as if she was going to kill someone. "What are you doing? I saved your life." Jiang Nan got up and was about to run. "Bobcat, why are you running?" "I don't blame you." From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 1000. "You are lying. Women are all big liars, big pig trotters." From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 1000. "You're joking." Jiang Nan was terrified at this time. Wouldn't he be hammered to death if he didn't run? It was Bobcat, that human-shaped tyrannosaur. "I can't handle it, can't take it." The 2 of them had to bleed for 3 hours before their nosebleed stopped. Bobcat covered her nose and extended her hand towards Jiang Nan. "Jiang Nan. What does that mean?" Thus, he tentatively extended his hand over. The palms of the 2 of them clasped together. Bobcat's body stiffened. Jiang Nan rebuked, "How old are you? You still want to play high fives?" Bobcat slapped away Jiang Nan's hand with a "pa" sound. "Who wants to give you a high .5? Give me a set of clothes." She was convinced. What kind of brain circuit did Jiang Nan have? If she stayed with him, her mentality would easily collapse. Jiang Nan chuckled and handed her a set of his clothes. The 2 of them were in a sorry state right now, and their bodies were covered in blood. Bobcat was a little underdressed. Jiang Nan did not mind taking a look more. Taking advantage of when Bobcat was changing her clothes, Jiang Nan greedily took all the big diamonds that Jingang Corpse had turned into his alternate space. More than 200 caddy of diamonds. How much did it cost? Just ask, have you ever seen a diamond ring the size of a human head? Jiang Nan instantly felt that his back was stiff. Bobcat was speechless. At this moment, Bobcat was wearing Jiang Nan's clothes. Shorts on the lower body, white half-sleeves on the upper body, and a Tinkerbell printed on it. But the half-sleeves forced her to wear a navel-bearing dress. Bobcat said fiercely, "What are you looking at?" Jiang Nan smiled brightly, "Who gave me a pair of eyes that found a beauty? I can't control myself." Luo Tianhong. You have a sweet mouth, okay. Where did you get that baby ginseng? Jiang Nan said in a deadpan face, "It was dug in Spirit Ruin." Bobcat rolled her eyes. "It was not planted in your backyard. Who were you trying to fool?" The military knew everything about Jiang Nan like the back of their hand. His family did not even have a backyard. Jiang Nan smiled in embarrassment and did not speak. Humph. Don't you know about giving some face? Why were you exposing it so thoroughly? Seeing that Jiang Nan was unwilling to speak, Bobcat did not ask further. Instead, she looked straight into Jiang Nan's eyes and said in a deep voice, "Follow me." Jiang Nan was stunned and then fell into deep thought. There was a bit of difficulty in his expression. Bobcat nodded. After all, this kind of great matter that decided the future had to be considered carefully. Half a minute later, Jiang Nan sighed and said, "I can follow you. But I want a Mercedes-Benz. I want a small villa. I want money. And hug every morning and night. Promise me. I will follow you." Bobcat. What the hell? She was about to go crazy. She just wanted him to join Night Legion Army as her substitute. The money, Mercedes, Benz, and villa were already too much. And yet she also had to give a hug. Chapter 67. Tinkerbell. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Was he going to be a puppy? Or beat more people at night? Bobcat's face was completely black. She said angrily, "Hug you? I think you are asking for a beating." Jiang Nan looked embarrassed. What? Whip play? I don't have any hobbies like this. From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 1000. Bobcat pinched Jiang Nan's face and rubbed it wildly. "It is to follow me to become Night Legion Army. I will take you. And be my soldier." Jiang Nan was stunned. "Aren't you going to keep me?" Then he looked disappointed. Jiang Nan thought that he finally had soft rice to eat. Finally, he didn't have to work hard. He had to rely on his good looks to eat. Be a carefree little puppy. Bobcat was speechless. Hey, were you serious about your disappointed face? Normal people wouldn't think about that. How about it? Think about it. Jiang Nan curled his lips. "I'm not going. I still have to go to school." Bobcat was unwilling to give up. "What's the use of going to school? I can teach you all those things from the school. Don't waste your time in school." It's been a long time since she has recruited people. And it was not easy for her to find Jiang Nan. How could she bear to let him go? Following her, Jiang Nan had unlimited possibilities for the future. His stage would not be in this little Jiang city. It would be in entire China, even the whole world. Jiang Nan shook his head like a rattle-drum. "I'm not going." What a joke. To be Night Legion Army's recruit. What benefits can there be? Does Night Legion Army have a little sister in ragged clothes? Can you set up a stall to make money? Can you enjoy your youth in school? I won't go. Looking at Jiang Nan's firm refusal, Bobcat suddenly smiled. "If you don't want to go, then don't go. I won't force you. Let's go." Jiang Nan. Did she let me off so easily? That's not right. According to Bobcat's character, she should have hammered himself with a hammer and then dragged me along. Why did her personality suddenly change? For some unknown reason, Jiang Nan suddenly had a bad premonition. "Sister Bobcat, what happened to that burning blood reagent? When we were fighting Jing'an earlier." Bobcat shot a glance at Jiang Nan. "I can't say it, it's a military secret." Jiang Nan. F***ck. Were you playing this with me now? Sure enough, she was waiting for this. Bobcat tempted, "Join the Night Legion Army. I will tell you when you become one with us." "I won't go." Jiang Nan turned his head. Humph. Stinky Bobcat. Scheming woman. Humanoid Tyrannosaurus. A scumbag who ran away after eating. Sigh. In the end, it was one person who took everything. Bobcat brought Jiang Nan to patrol everywhere and wanted to support the Night Legion Army. However, she received news that all the enemies who had entered Spirit Ruin had been captured. Only Jinong and Constantine were left. All the students had been evacuated. In fact, Constantine had been handcuffed. Jingang had turned into a big diamond and was still lying in Jiang Nan's alternate space. However, Jiang Nan had not been idle along the way. The beast tide had passed, and the ground was littered with beast corpses. Night Legion army did not have the time to dig all the spiritual bead, only taking away the silver rank spiritual bead. The rest was all for Jiang Nan. Jiang Nan liked picking up money the most. After walking all the way, they finally arrive at the entrance. Night Legion army had already taken over the Heaven Lake Spirit Ruins entrance. Moreover, it was strictly guarded. At this moment, many parents of the students had came here. Seeing that their children had safely come out, they all heaved a sigh of relief. Some parents cried when they learned of their child's grievous news. As martial spirit warrior, of course, there would be danger. Even though they were mentally prepared, they were still unable to accept it for a moment. But fortunately, with Night Legion Army's interference, the losses were controlled to the minimum. At this moment, Xia Yao and Zhong Yingxue rushed over and were extremely anxious. Everyone had come out, even Wu Liang and Tang Qinya had returned safely. But they still can't see Jiang Nan's shadow. Both of them had gone crazy from anxiety. Nothing will happen to Xiao Nan, right? Zhong Yingxue's face was full of worry. Her eyes were red, and there were tears on her cheeks. It was obvious she had just cried. Xia Yao comforted her, Shui, don't worry. Xiao Nan is so smart. He will definitely take good care of himself. At this moment, there was a commotion at the entrance of Spirit Ruin. They saw Jiang Nan following behind Bobcat and walking out of Spirit Ruin's entrance. Many Night Legion army uniformly saluted to Bobcat. Captain. Bobcat nodded slightly and did not speak. At this moment, all of Night Legion army's gazes towards Bobcat could not help but be a little strange. Because she was not wearing a military uniform. Instead, it was large pants and a small short-sleeved shirt. The short-sleeved shirt Bobcat wore into a naval-bearing outfit and has a Tinkerbell printed on it. Looking at Jiang Nan again, he was also wearing large pants, and a small short-sleeved shirt with a Tinkerbell printed on it. Couple outfit. Damn. Bobcat was wearing men's clothing, and it was obvious that it was Jiang Nan's clothes. In addition, Bobcat had taken Jiang Nan away. The two of them had gone somewhere and not shown up for a full 3 hours. When they came out, Bobcat had changed her uniform. And she was even wearing Jiang Nan's clothes. Amazing. Amazing. Many of Night Legion Army's gazes towards Jiang Nan had changed. Did he take down our captain? Awesome. Too awesome. Chen Chen gave Jiang Nan a crazy look as if he was a big shot. And Ning secretly gave Jiang Nan a thumbs up. Jiang Nan had a proud look on his face. I didn't do anything. The students who withdrew were also stunned. Looking at Bobcat and Jiang Nan, who were wearing couple outfits, they all exploded. No wonder he was so close to Night Legion Army. So there was such a relationship. Amazing. Amazing. Your circle was so messy. Li Mayan was also stunned. Bobcat especially took Jiang Nan away. Did they do something? She thought of something and blushed. Bah. Bobcat looked around, confused. But looking at Jiang Nan, who was so happy that flowers were blooming on his face, she could not help but roll her eyes. Wasn't it just picking up some spiritual bead? Why were you being so happy? Go back, I still have work to do here. Jiang Nan, okay. Sister Bobcat. Remember to miss me. Get lost. Jiang Nan, who had just left the locked area, was directly squeezed into a sandwich biscuit by Zhong Yingxue and Xia Yao, who flew over. Nose full of fragrance. Omega. It was great. After a hug. Zhong Yingxue, how is it? Are you hurt? Where are you feeling uncomfortable? Xia Yao, why are you out so late? What happened? He looked at the two girls who were worried that they rushed to Changbai Mountain overnight and wait for him to come out. A warm feeling welled up in Jiang Nan's heart. If I say I went to dig for diamonds, would you believe me if I dug out more than 200 caddy of diamonds? Zhou Ningxue, Xia Yao, dig diamonds in spirit ruin. And dig out more than 200 caddy. Were you kidding me? They could not help but roll their eyes at Jiang Nan. From Zhou Ningxue's resentment points plus 666. From Xia Yao's resentment points plus 666, Jiang Nan chuckled, to reward you for coming all the way to welcome my triumphant return, I will give you 2 candy to eat. He took out 3 pieces of Golden Age beauty pill as he spoke. Xia Yao's big eyes were full of surprise. She went up to Jiang Nan and gave his cheek a mouthful of mua. Xiao Nan. I love you so much. As she spoke, she snatched away 2 of Golden Age beauty pill and stuffed them in the middle of her chest. And then. Tui. 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 She spat 3 times in disgust. She wiped her lips, jumped to Zhou Ningxue's side, and hugged her arm. Shue, listen to me. I am only loyal to you. I just succumbed to someone's abuse of authority just now. It doesn't count. I'll kiss you again and make up for it, okay? Zhou Ningxue, Jiang Nan, What a good wolf extinction. Destroy the bridge after crossing the river. Shameless. Chapter 68. You can count it by the caddy. You are listening at novel full.audio. As she spoke, she was about to kiss Zhou Ningxue. But Zhou Ningxue pushed her away with a look of disdain. Xia Yao, Jiang Nan chuckled. Fortunately, my sister was upright. How could such a beautiful sister be tricked? He then stuffed the Golden Age beauty pill into Zhou Ningxue's pocket. Then, he moved his face closer to Zhou Ningxue. What? You don't want one? Zhou Ningxue burst out laughing, as beautiful as a lily blooming under the stars. The people beside her were all stunned. Zhou Ningxue gave Jiang Nan a headache, humph. You're so beautiful. I won't kiss you. Jiang Nan felt wronged. The students next to him all exploded. All of them were so envious that they were scratching their hearts. It was really sour. Look at him. He just came back from spirit ruin, and 2 great beauties are coming to welcome him. They were so beautiful that it made people jealous. Even a first-rate actress can't compare. Then look at us again. Gap. This was if King Gap. Wu Yang and Tang Qinya also came over. Brother Nan. I knew you were fine. Tang Qinya was also sobbing, I was worried to death. You finally came back. The corner of Jiang Nan's mouth twitched, and his body froze on the spot. Because Wu Yang was not wearing anything. It was just a triangular leopard underpants. Many teachers and students were nearby, and even Night Legion Army was whispering and pointing. Some even took out their mobile phones to take pictures and made a sound of disgust. As a result, Wu Yang was not ashamed. He even bulged his muscles. He displayed his statue-like figure. He even had a proud face. To Jiang Nan, this was simply a mental corruption. Muscle man, leopard triangle. It was probably the most explosive combination in the world. Even Zhou Ningxue and Xia Yao were stunned. Could this person be the legendary muscular freak? Such a scene would simply make their eyes rot. A naked disaster. Jiang Nan coughed twice to hide his embarrassment. Come. Let me introduce you. Wu Yang. This is the shield warrior I picked. What do you think? Xia Yao covered her face and said, Are you sure there are no problems? Zhou Yingxue, brother. Be careful. You have to be careful. She was already beginning to worry that Jiang Nan had some kind of strange hobby. Jiang Nan smiled and said, "Don't worry. I chose the right one. We will be teammates in the future. After this, have a meal together and get familiar with each other." Xia Yao laughed, "I will follow you from now on. I want to eat skewers in Spirit Ruin too." Zhou Yingxue also laughed and was stunned. "Wait. Teammates. You are." Xia Yao hugged Zhou Yingxue, "You don't know, do you? Xiao Nan has been trying his best to come to our Songjiang Martial Spirit School. He just wanted to help you solve your problem. Do you know why that bastard Luo asked for leave? It's all thanks to Xiao Nan. If he takes the top 3 this time, he will come to our Songjiang Martial Spirit. But when the time comes, let's kick out Luo Tianxiang and Han Cheng and form a team together." Zhou Yingxue's eyes instantly became moist. Why did Luo Tianxiang ask for leave? It turned out that he had already discussed it with Xia Yao before the shopping mall fire incident. Looking at the smiling Jiang Nan, Zhou Yingxue's heart melted. She rushed forward and hugged Jiang Nan. She buried her head deep into his shoulder. "Why didn't you tell me earlier? The two of you hid this from me for so long." This feeling of someone silently caring for her behind her back. It was really good. Jiang Nan chuckled, "I was just afraid that you would be worried." Zhou Yingxue was still hugging tightly, unwilling to let go. Xia Yao bared her teeth at the side. It was like a furious dog. She was furious. If she knew this would happen, she wouldn't tell her. In the end, Jiang Nan takes all the advantage. She had never hugged her like this before. Jiang Nan looked pleased with himself. He raised an eyebrow at Xia Yao and revealed a victorious smile. "Well. I want a kiss more than a hug." Zhou Yingxue blushed. Xia Yao came up with a hand knife and separated the two. "What kiss? No kiss. Get away from her." Like a dog protecting its food, she covered Zhou Yingxue behind her. "What are you proud of? You may not even get into the top 3. Everything has been said. If you can't get it, you will lose your little face." Jiang Nan's eyes lit up. "If I get the first place, what would you do?" Xia Yao was not the least bit afraid. "You can do whatever you want." But after she finished speaking, she felt that something was wrong. Why did she feel like she had fallen into a trap? Jiang Nan chuckled, "If I win first place, you will wash my underwear for a month." Xia Yao felt distressed, but she had no choice. She now regretted it in her heart. It was good if she did not agree just now. However, she still said, "Then I'll wash it." "But if you can't get it?" Jiang Nan spread out his hands and said, "Then I'll help you wash your underwear for a month." Xia Yao. He was joking, right? No matter how you looked at it, it seemed like she was at a loss. But when she was just about to go back on her words, the teachers were already calling out for the assembly, and they were starting to calculate the results. Jiang Nan quickly ran over with Wu Liang and Tang Qinya. Jiang Nan's group immediately attracted everyone's attention by walking in the group. It was not because Jiang Nan was too handsome. It was because Wu Liang was too showy. Each team goes forward to count the number of spiritual beads. Soon, it was Jiang Nan's turn. Looking at Jiang Nan, who walked forward, the students who had experienced the barbecue skewers in the middle path all felt pain. They all knew that Jiang Nan's team would get first place. They saw Jiang Nan open the alternate dimension and directly grab spiritual bead out. The colorful spiritual bead was simply blinding. Just as the teacher was about to check it out, Jiang Nan always felt that this number was unreliable. What if the other teams took advantage of Night Legion army and also got the spiritual bead like him? Thinking of this, he took out another handful and put it on the table. Students. When the teacher was just about to count, Jiang Nan thought, what if he lost in the bet and needed to wash Xia Yao's underwear? How can we meet people if this gets out? Then Jiang Nan took out another pile. From Xia Yao's resentment points plus 666, from Li Xiang's resentment points plus 1000. From the teacher in charge of the examination, plus 666. From. Hey. Did I just earn resentment points? Jiang Nan wanted to fish again. But the tray was already full. The supervising teacher was also getting impatient. I say, can you finish it all at once? The students were going crazy. Were you F***king done? Was your alternate dimension was Doraemon 100 treasure bag? How come you have so many spiritual beads? Even Wu Liang and Tang Qianya looked like they had seen a ghost. They didn't sell that many kebabs. Did Jiang Nan dig out spiritual bead in spirit beast nest? But Jiang Nan was still taking out more. The supervising teacher, Are there any more? Jiang Nan asked in a low voice, Teacher, can you check if it's enough to get first place? If it's not enough, I still have more. The teacher's face darkened, what do you think? The students gritted their teeth in hatred and whispered to each other. We all heard it. Do you have to be so irritating? Jiang Nan, that's it. If it is not enough to get first place, you have to compensate me. Teacher, Therefore, he began to count on spiritual bead. Jiang Nan laughed and madly drew resentment points. He then raised an eyebrow at Xia Yao from a distance. She was so angry that she gritted her teeth. She was going to wash his underwear for this month. After counting for more than 3 minutes, he only counted a little bit of it. Jiang Nan, teacher, let's not count anymore. Just count it by caddy. The students behind are all getting anxious. Teacher, Count it by caddy. Do you think this spiritual bead was melon seeds, peanuts, or raisins? After teaching for 20 years, he has never counted the spiritual bead by caddy. The students were so angry that they exploded on the spot. Don't show off again. Can you give us some face? Don't stab our hearts again and again. Jiang Nan looked at the crazily refreshing list of resentment points. Jiang Nan, hey. This is very comfortable. Chapter 69. Where is my box? You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the end, the teacher really didn't count it. The top one. 7.6 caddy. The big screen of the hotel also displayed the rankings flashed wildly. Their school team's score was striving to become first team. For bronze. Grade spiritual beads. 17 black iron. Grade spiritual beads. A go in my go-go team. 3 bronze. Grade spiritual beads. 11 black iron. Grade spiritual beads. And when Jiang Nan's team submit their spiritual beads, Jiang Nan said that the team spiritual beads 7.6 caddy. Straight to the top. Hey. Was this AF * King Market? Jiang Nan team, whose spiritual bead scores were calculated in caddy, was probably the first. Speaking of which, wasn't that team name a bit too showy? Anyway, none of the Jiang City First High School team names were decent. The resentment points crazily refreshed. Jiang Nan smiled brightly and took a picture of the ranking list. He put away the spiritual beads and ran back to Xia Yao. He said with an air of pride, 1 month of underwear washing. We agreed. Xia Yao gnashed her teeth in anger. Don't you know to let others have their way? Wouldn't you still be able to go to Songjiang's martial spirit if you took second place? Well, I can just wash it alongside mine. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Thinking of this, Xia Yao's face suddenly turned red. No. Why are you thinking of arranging yourself in? From Xia Yao resentment points plus 1000. She couldn't help but roll her eyes at Jiang Nan and say, "Humph, steel straight man." Jiang Nan, dot. He was stunned. Why was he a steel straight man? Could it be that Xia Yao, this evil dog, wanted him to wash her underwear? Humph. How was that possible? Do you think I don't care about face? After some calculations, there was no surprise. Jiang Nan won first place with a score of 7.6 caddy. The school organized the students back to school. When Zhong Yingxue found out that Jiang Nan was safe, she also drove back to Jiang City. She originally wanted to accompany Jiang Nan for a while, but Xia Yao really couldn't wait. She couldn't wait to go home and try the effect of the big white rabbit milk candy. But before they separated, they agreed to have dinner together during the holidays. On the bus, Jiang Nan began to fiddle with his phone. As soon as he connected to the internet, his phone began to vibrate like crazy. Jiang Nan was stunned as he watched his phone vibrate for half an hour. As soon as he opened Weibo, the notification was 99+. It completely exploded. When he saw that all of it were all worried about his safety, the expression pack of a little candle and prayer also exploded. Jiang Nan felt warm in his heart. Then, he posted on Weibo. Nan Shen. From iPhone 11 Pro. Max. Strength and attractiveness were indeed directly proportional. I'm helpless. Songjiang martial spirit, I'm coming. Picture, the first one was the ranking list. The other was the photo of the three people in spirit ruin. Jiang Nan and the other two posed and smiled brilliantly in the photo. Behind them, Li Xiang's team was angrily hunting spirit beasts. It formed a sharp contrast. Just after posting it, Jiang Nan fell asleep in a daze. When he woke up, the comments section immediately broke through 10,000. "Huh, I knew he was fine. Good people don't live long. Bad people will live for 1,000 years. What kind of team name is this? It's too amazing." Well, you are right. Anything you say is right. 7.6 caddy. Am I seeing things? The other team is counted into pieces, and Nanshan's team counted in caddy. 666, as long as it's safe. Xiao Yu. Are you coming to our school? I'll treat you to grilled fish. Excited. Jiang Nan was amused. Reply to Xiao Yu. Iron pot stewed koi. Roasted using yourself as a charcoal fire. From Xiao Yu's resentment points plus 333. It's great the bus drove to school, and the students who had been tired all day went home and slept for a whole day. The next day was the award ceremony. Jiang Nan, Wu Liang, and Tang Qianya stood on the podium. They were all a little excited. Jiang Nan rubbed his hands excitedly. Because the school would reward spiritual bead with a spirit skill. The reward distributed by the Martial Spirit Association corresponded to the characteristics of their respective abilities. Space-type spiritual bead. He had been looking forward to it for a long time. What surprised Jiang Nan was that Li Xiang's team had actually managed to get second place. However, on the podium, Li Mayan stood very far away from Li Xiang and the others, remaining silent the entire time. She looked very depressed. As if she had noticed Jiang Nan's gaze, she glared back fiercely. Jiang Nan, oh. You're getting bolder. As he spoke, he raised his palm and imitated a slapping motion. Li Mayan was so scared that she quickly covered her little butt. Her face was full of shame and anger, and it was almost an instinctive reaction. Her butt was still in pain. There was still a big handprint on it. This action made Jiang Nan laugh. But how could she admit defeat? She pouted and actually twisted her little butt at Jiang Nan. It meant that. Come on, come and beat me. Come on, I'll happily accept it. In any case, we have a lot of time. The smile on Jiang Nan's face froze, and he broke out into a cold shiver. He then retracted his hand resentfully. This girl was deeply poisoned. It was better to stay away from her. To avoid being entangled. At this moment, Li Mayan realized that she was still on the podium and so many people were watching. Her face turned red. Sure enough. The students below the stage looked at Li Mayan and Jiang Nan in shock. What? What was the situation? Jiang Nan raised his hand. Li Mayan covered his butt and twisted it at him. Could it be? Was everything like this now? On the other side, the teacher began distributing spiritual bead. One of them gave a small red box containing spiritual bead. What Tang Qianya got was a silver rank would attribute spiritual bead. Spiritual skill. Vine whip. On the other hand, Wu Liang was also a silver rank spiritual bead. Spiritual skill. Berserk. Both were suitable for the abilities of the two. When he arrived at Jiang Nan, the principal came forward to shake hands with him with a smile on his face. This young man is not bad. His performance is outstanding. He is a pillar of the country, blah 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 blah. His mouth was like a machine gun as he spoke a lot. It made Jiang Nan's hand sweat. He shook his hand up and down. Jiang Nan nodded like a chick pecking at rice, and the smile on his face stiffened. Hold it in. Hold it in. You've been talking for almost 10 minutes. Hurry up and give me my little box. Finally, the principal finished speaking. Jiang Nan hurriedly stretched out his hand. The principal coughed twice and turned to leave. Okay. The award ceremony is officially over. Come, students. Smile. Take a photo, and we will hang it in our corridor. Jiang Nan. Hey. Hey. Hi. Did you forget something? You didn't take any medicine when you went out, did you? He shook hands for more than 10 minutes. Where was my little box? Where was the spiritual bead with spiritual skill? Then, Jiang Nan stretched out his hand towards the principal. Then, he even gestured with his finger. Wasn't this obvious? The principal glanced at Jiang Nan, then turned his head and said, Come. 123, cheese. Jiang Nan. F***ck. You did it on purpose, didn't you? You did not reward me in order to take revenge on me for blowing up the testing machine. Where was my little box? A box that was earned through life and death. Click. The shutter was pressed. It also meant that this final exam was officially over. Everyone in the photo revealed a bright smile. In their hand was a small red box. Only Jiang Nan was stunned and spreading his hands. The meaning was self-explanatory. Did you see it? In his hand. Nothing. Chapter 70. Void Carp. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. After taking the photos, the principal felt at ease. This time the final exam was a combination of the three schools. But because of Jiang Nan's existence. Not to mention that the broadcast had earned a lot. Jiang City First High School was also the best among the three schools. Next year's enrollment would definitely not be a problem. At this moment, the principal felt a chill run down his back. He turned back to look. He saw Jiang Nan's face full of resentment, and his eyes seemed like he wanted to kill someone. If the system could collect Jiang Nan's resentment point. At this moment it was estimated that he could draw 10 times in a row. The principal quivered and pretended not to see it. Jiang Nan. If he didn't give himself an explanation today. It was not over. After the award ceremony ended, the principal called out to Jiang Nan, Come with me. Jiang Nan had a suspicious look on his face. What? Was he going to give him special treatment? He was excited again. In the principal's office. There were 2 documents on the table and a metal box. Jiang Nan didn't even look at the document and just grabbed the box in his hand. There was a spiritual bead lying quietly and emitting waves of spatial fluctuations. Jiang Nan was almost drooling. This was a space attribute spiritual skill that he had longed for a long time. The principal smiled bitterly, put it down. It's not yours yet. With dissatisfaction, Jiang Nan was stunned and said, I got first place. The principal pointed to the documents on the table and said, take a look. Jiang Nan took a look. Spiritual bead and a document transferred to Songjiang martial spirit were placed together. On the other side, there was also another document. The Night Legion Army document was asking Jiang Nan for the spiritual bead. They said that Night Legion Army killed the spirit beast and not Jiang Nan's. He had to return it to them. Jiang Nan exploded on the spot. How could I spit out the money that was in my pocket? The principal handed Jiang Nan another document. What do you mean? Jiang Nan was stunned. Sign this. The spiritual bead and the transfer documents are yours. If you don't sign it, the other document is yours. Jiang Nan. Choose one from the two. Then why the fuck did he need to choose? Of course, he wanted spiritual bead and the transfer documents. But when he looked at the documents in his hand, Jiang Nan was dumbfounded. Night Legion Army enlistment document. The name and other information had been filled up for Jiang Nan. He just needed to press a fingerprint. Wasn't this too considerate? Nonsense. Jiang Nan almost exploded on the spot. No wonder Bobcat looked so confident. So she was waiting for this time. At this time, his phone rang. When he checked who called, he then accepted it and began to curse, smelly Bobcat. Scheming B***TCH. Big pig trotters. Scumbag woman. Humanoid Tyrannosaurus. Gundam Berserk. EVA-01 machine. Iron Arm Astro Boy. Toot toot toot, the principal was stunned. What the hell was this? You dare to chat with Night Legion Army like this? Your courage was not ordinary. You were a little too arrogant. Who knows how many people dream of joining Night Legion Army? How come when it came to Jiang Nan, it was like going to the execution ground? Jiang Nan glanced at the phone that had been hung up. His phone rang again. But before Jiang Nan could speak, Bobcat said lightly, do you want to die? Jiang Nan's body stiffened. He still said with a grievance, is this how you treat your savior? Bobcat, sitting in her office, tried her best to hold back her laughter. She tried her best to calm her voice down, hurry up and press your fingerprint. In the future, you will be mine. Since you have made a great contribution this time, I will let you be a lieutenant first. She could imagine the pitiful look on Jiang Nan's face. Her heart felt refreshed. I still have to go to school. Bobcat, I won't stop you from going to school. Don't you have winter vacation, summer vacation, and rest days? Jiang Nan. F***CK. So I have to go to Night Legion Army to do a part-time job during my holiday. Bobcat, the space attribute spiritual bead is strictly controlled by the country. Void Sea Spirit Ruin is also not open to the public. Night Legion Army is the only way for you to obtain space attribute spirit beads. You can treat it as a job. Jiang Nan curled his lips. He had to admit that what Bobcat said was right. He couldn't possibly teleport and eat all over the world with one move, right? Then my Mercedes, Benz, small villa, money, and hug. Bobcat gritted her teeth and said, I don't have anything of those, but I can give you a hug. From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 1,000. Jiang Nan shivered. Bobcat's hug. If she hugged him, wouldn't he ascend to heaven? Jiang Nan was so scared that he quickly hung up the phone and pressed his fingerprint with hatred. The principal was pleased. First Lieutenant. You should be able to get a discount on the train, right? Principal. Discount. I'll King break your legs. So you joined Knight Legion Army and became a lieutenant just to get a discount on the train. From the principal's resentment points plus 666, Jiang Nan looked at the space attribute spiritual bead and asked, Principal. What is this spiritual bead? Principal. The Void Carp produced in Void Sea Spirit Ruin in Miaojiang. A gold rank spirit beast. It's extremely rare. Jiang Nan was stunned. Gold rank. Was Bobcat so generous? You should be contented. The Void Sea is not open to the public. The lowest among them is a gold rank spirit beast. This Void Carp spirit skill. Space wormhole is very rare. It is extremely difficult to get it. Knight Legion Army still likes you very much. Jiang Nan felt a burst of itch in his heart. A space wormhole. It sounds pretty powerful. Jiang Nan walked to the school gate and saw that Tang Qianya and Wu Yang were waiting for him. Wu Yang chuckled, What? Did they give you special treatment? Tang Qianya said expectantly, What spiritual bead did they give you? It must be very powerful, right? Jiang Nan said with a sad face, That's right. But I sacrificed the rest of my life. I sold myself. Tang Qianya. Wu Yang. On the way home, Jiang Nan was walking when he suddenly thought of something. He took out a spiritual bead and stuffed it into Wu Yang's hands. Wu Yang was stunned, and he couldn't help but jump in fright when he saw it. Gold rank spiritual bead. Brother Nan. This. Why are you stuttering? That the gold rank earth bear spiritual bead. Its spirit skill. Bear King Shield is not bad. You have to absorb it. Berserk and Bear King Shield. This is enough for you until silver rank. Wu Yang's hand was shaking. A gold rank spiritual bead with a spirit skill. And it was also so compatible with his beast transformation ability. The value could not be measured by money. No matter how much money was used, it could not be bought. Jiang Nan gave it to him just like that. Wu Yang truly felt that he had not followed the wrong person. Speaking of which, that earth bear had been killed by Jiang Nan, or else how could he have gotten his hands on its spiritual bead? Brother Nan. Thank you. Jiang Nan smiled and waved his hand. After returning home, he arranged vigorous potion for a bath. Jiang Nan, who was comfortably soaking in vigorous potion, felt the improvement of his physical fitness and felt very happy in his heart. He takes another golden age beauty pill. According to the truth, the face will always win. Jiang Nan then took out the spiritual pearl of the Void Carp. This time, he should be able to break through, right? After absorbing it, Jiang Nan felt that his spiritual energy had broken through to a new realm. The spiritual energy contained within the gold rank spiritual bead was terrifying. It had actually pushed Jiang Nan's rank to 3-star bronze rank. There was no time to be happy because Jiang Nan wanted to try out the new spiritual skill he had obtained. A space wormhole.